Hello, welcome to this lesson of our study of calculus 1. Okay, particularly functions. So in this lesson we'll just go through some difficult but tricky examples of composite functions, and I'll just show you how to do these type of questions whenever they come. Okay, so if you have not subscribed to the channel, kindly subscribe to support the channel as well. Okay, all right, let's start. Okay, so given, let f of x be equal to s cubed minus 5x squared plus x minus 7 for all values of x. Then you're supposed to find g of x so that f of g of x, that is the composition of f of x and g of x, is now given. And now we've been given f of x, so our task here is to find what g of x. Okay, so how do you go about it? Okay, all right, let's start. Now you know that f of x is this, okay, and you don't know g of x, but when we put g of x inside wherever you find x in f of x, this is what you will get. So how you solve this type of question is that you check what is the highest degree of x in the composition function. I mean the product after everything, the result, this function. What is the highest degree of x? It is 3. Okay, I mean it is cubed. It is this s cubed. Okay, and what is the highest degree of f of x? That's the highest degree of x in f of x here. That one too is s cubed. Okay, so what it means is that after putting, say I have f of x, okay, after putting g of x inside wherever I see x in f of x, I will get f of g of x. Okay, so this is what it means. The degree of f of x here is s cubed. Okay, so it's like this. Let me put it this way. Is this the highest? I'm just taking the highest. I won't take the rest. Okay, so it's like something cubed. Okay, and after everything, the highest that is also giving me is also something cubed. Okay, it means that what function in terms of a polynomial that when I cube it, I will get s cubed. What I'm trying to say is that find a function that when you cube it, after everything, the highest degree of that function will be s cubed, or will be 3. So it's just a linear function, say x. Okay, so I'll have to just try to write this cube, okay, as some power of the highest degree of f of x. Okay, so I think let me write it well for you. Okay, so it's like when I put x here, okay, when I put x here in place of s cubed and I cube it, indeed I'll get s cubed. So it means that what this simply means is that our function that we are trying to find is a linear function. Okay, our g of x, so we will let g of x be equal to some linear function. This is how we write a linear function. A linear function is just some constant a plus some bx. Okay, so this is how a linear function looks like. So if I take this and I cube it, the highest degree will be s cubed. So this is how you go about it. Okay, so if this, let's say this was this part, that is the highest degree after everything, this part was, let's say, 6. Okay, then it means that I have to square s cubed. Okay, or let me see, yes, s cubed means I have to put a square there. Okay, because if you have s cubed as f of x, and after everything, when I put in there, it is giving me a product of, or something like a result of s to the power 6. It means it was something like this, s squared, that when I put it here and cube it, it means whatever, you see, it is f of g of x, so I have to put g of x inside f of x. So with the s cube, what should I put inside s cube that when I cube it, I'll get 6? It is only s to the power 2. So I'll have to come and write g of s in terms of a general quadratic function. Then I will use that one as well. But here, we've been given it in cube, like the f of x. So we are good to go. Okay, so if you let g of x to be this, then f of g of x in terms of what we've just said is actually equal to, we put a plus bx wherever we see x in f of x, like this. Okay, then a plus bx, then squared, then plus a plus bx, okay, then minus 7. I hope you understand this. So now I'll have to cube this. When I cube the first one, I'm just coming to cube it straight. I know you know how to go about it. Okay, I'll get a cubed plus 3a squared bx, then plus 3a b squared s squared, okay, and plus b cubed s cubed. I hope you understand this. Now minus 5 into, I have to square this bracket. I'll get a squared plus 2abx, then plus b squared s squared, okay, then plus a plus bx minus 7. So this is what we have. I have to simplify this. This is very tedious but simple question. Okay, it's very, very simple. Now with what we are doing, f of g of x, if I'm to simplify and group like terms, this will be equal to, let me expand the fifth aspect. Okay, the 5 to the 5 times something aspect. Okay, so a cubed plus 3a squared bx, this is what we had. Okay, plus 3ab squared s squared, okay, and plus b cubed s cubed, okay, minus 5a squared minus, okay, 5a squared, let me write it well for you, minus 10ab x minus 5b squared s squared, okay, plus a plus bx minus 7. Okay, so I'll have to just group like terms, so just like this. So I have the s cube. I have to keep s cube somewhere, so b cube s cube, and I'll go to the square part, okay, plus, then I have to factor the s squared out and write its coefficient. So I'll have something like 3ab squared minus 5b squared, then s squared, okay, then plus, now go to the x component. So I have 3a squared b minus 10ab plus b, okay, x. Then I have to factor the constant parts. Okay, so plus, the constant is a cubed minus 5a squared plus a minus 7. Okay, so this is f of g of x, okay, in terms of the general linear function of g of x, in terms of this, okay, in terms of this one. But we've been given f of g of x like this. Okay, so we'll have to come and write it there. So from our simplification, I have f of g of x to be equal to, let me write it back again, b cubed s cubed plus 3ab squared minus 5b squared, okay, s squared, then plus the linear part, that is 3a squared b, right, minus 10ab plus b, then x, then plus, we have a cubed minus 5a squared, okay, plus a minus 7. Now we have f of g of x given us in the question as 27 s cubed plus 90 s squared, okay, plus 78 x minus 2. I hope this is cool. Okay, so this is the question given. Now with this comparing coefficient, you could see that b cube, so we compare the coefficient of s cube and s cube. Okay, so b cube should be equal to b cubed should be equal to 27. So you have to find cube root of both sides, and that will give us b to be 3. Okay, so we have b. Now with the s squared component, we know that 3ab squared minus 5b squared should be equal to 90. Okay, so I have 3a into 9 because b is 3, so square it again, 9 minus 5 into 9 should be equal to 90. So 3 9 I have 27. A minus 45 is equal to 90. Okay, now it means that I'll have 27a to be equal to 90 plus 45, and that will give me 135. And a will be equal, and divide through by 27, a will be equal to 5. Okay, if you remember, we said that our g of x should be equal to some a plus bx, and we know a to be 5 and b to be what? 3. Okay, so this means that our g of x, which is what we want to find, is equal to 5 plus 3x. Okay, or in some books they write it 3x plus 5. Okay, so that is the g of x. You can indeed go through and put this g of x there, and indeed you have f of g of x to be what was given in the question. Okay, so let's take a similar question and see. Now with this, we have f of x to be equal to s squared plus 1, and f of g of x to be equal to this. Okay, so you know f of x is equal to s squared plus 1. Now f of g of x, which is the same as f of g of x, this one is 2 plus 2 over x plus 1 over s squared. So with this, what we can do is we just compare them. Okay, let's try to write f of g of x as a linear form and see, because with this fractional form we'll get a problem. Okay, so what we can do is you can write f of g of x in a linear form to be 2 plus 2 times, now this is the same as x to the negative 1. Okay, plus this is x to the negative 1 squared. Okay, so you can see that there's an s to the negative 1, s to the negative 1, but here it's just s to the negative 2, and I wanted to show you that there's a particular s to the negative 1 happening in both. Okay, so you can see that the highest degree of s to the negative 1 in the product here, or in the final answer, is what? 2, and the highest degree of f of s is also 2. So it means that to get this x to the negative 1 squared, I should just put, if I put in this, if I come to, like I said, we only think about the highest degrees, that is all. So you come here, the highest degree is this one, so this one is also this part. So you think about it with s squared in f of x. What can I do so that I will get s to the negative 1 to the power 2? What I can do is just, when I put x to the negative 1 inside this, x to the negative 1, okay, negative 1, this, inside I'll get this one. Okay, so it means our function that we need is a linear function in terms of what? S to the negative 1. Or you can say it's a fractional function, but I just wanted to write it in a linear form so that you understand it very well. Okay, so we'll let g of x to be a linear function, because it's the degree here is 2, degree here is also 2. So the once, let me actually say something. Once the degree of both are the same, then the function should be a linear form. Okay, I hope you are okay. So this should be equal to some a plus some b times x to the negative 1. Okay, because g of x is supposed to be in terms of s to the negative 1, so that when we put it in f of x, we'll get something like this. Okay, because if you write it like a plus bx, Then when you put it here, we'll get just a linear form. We won't get a fractional form. Okay, that is why I'm converted everything to x to the negative 1. So that I know that g of s is actually a function of x to the negative 1. Okay. Now we go to what we can do here. So we just look at it as we did for the first one. Okay. So g of x we are saying is equal to a plus b x to the negative 1. Okay, and it should be the same as a plus b over x. This is how it's supposed to be in a fractional form, but you can't depict or say the fractional form straight away without writing it in a linear form like this. If you can do that, that is a plus for you. Okay, I always want us to go through it step by step so that you understand. Also, okay, so with this, you know that f of x is also this, also s squared plus 1. Okay, so it means that f of g of x will now be equal to, just wherever I see x, I put g of s there. That is a plus b over x squared plus 1. And this should give me a squared plus 2ab over x plus b squared over s squared plus 1. And the whole of this will give me a squared plus 1 plus 2ab over x plus b squared over x squared. Okay, so that is f of g of s from our function. Okay, now let's go ahead and write from our function f of g of x is actually equal to a squared plus 1 plus 2ab over x plus b squared over s squared. Okay, that's from our function. And now the actual f of g of s that was given in the question is equal to 2 plus 2 over x plus 1 over s squared. Okay, so you can compare coefficients. With the 1 over s squared, here is just 1 over s squared, but here is b squared over s squared. So it means that comparing coefficients, b squared should be equal to 1. Okay, you are saying this and this should be the same. Okay, with that, find square root of both sides, b should be equal to 1. Okay, now you go to the second one. With this side 2 over x, here we have 2ab over x. It means that the same denominator. So if you are comparing both sides, it means the numerator should be the same. That's how you used to find the first one. Okay, so 2 should be equal to 2ab, but we know that b is 1. Okay, so it means 2a is equal to 2 and a is also equal to 1. Okay, this is very simple. So you can also use the other way, that a squared plus 1 should be equal to 2. That is, this part should be equal to this part. Okay, and with that it will work. You will have a squared is equal to 2 minus 1, so a squared is equal to 1. Square root of both, so I have a equals 1. So it means indeed a is also equal to 1. Now with this, you know that g of x will now should be equal to, now we said g of x should be equal to what? A plus bx negative 1. So it should be this. A is 1, b is 1, so I have 1 x to the negative 1, which is the same as 1 plus 1 over x. Okay, so g of x is indeed 1 plus 1 over x. Very simple like that. Okay, so thank you, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to support the channel. All right, see you next time.